Welcome back to Pure Muscle Radio. The last episode we did was 2 weeks ago because I got sick.
Antoine's life fell apart.
Oh my God, you guys can't even believe it. I mean, I don't know if we want to talk about that right now or later, but yeah, I mean, it was one thing after another, and ended with the grand finale, the bicep tear in my left arm. I tore the right one like 2 years ago, and now it's the left one. You know what's good though? I'll be balanced.
It was 2 years to the day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like, pretty much. The month of May is bad luck for me.
Yeah. Next year, May, you just stay home. Don't leave your house.
Yeah, imagine if
Don't lift anything either.
No, I know. I will never lift anything again. If an old lady asks me to help with the groceries, fuck her. I'm not helping.
Tough shit.
Yeah, carry your own shit, old lady. All right. So for this episode, it's just me and Mike, of course. And we're going to talk about the New York Pro and my injury, pretty much. I got some questions from some of my followers, and they're pretty good about the bicep tear and recovery and what's going to happen. So
tell people how you did it, though, in case they didn't see the video.
Oh, okay, yeah. So how I did it is I was moving furniture like a freezer, and I was bear hugging it. And I think I did a false movement. I would kind of like try to catch it because it was like slipping or something. And for real, like this one, when it happened, it was like a scratch, like a Velcro. This one felt like I was getting dismembered. It wasn't one snatch. It was like three, like it was very weird. Like if I think about it, sometimes I get weird and I have PTSD or something. It was like traumatizing. And
I get like that when I think about how I tore mine the first time. When I was boxing, I hit a bag, and I threw a hook, and like my arm jumped because I just hit the bag wrong. And I remember it was like the most disgusting feeling I ever felt. Like I wanted to throw up. I was just laying on the ground like, what the fuck is wrong?
Yeah, just like thinking about it, I do have nausea sometimes. It's so weird I don't know. Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Paranoid to bend my arm too, because I did it and then I like locked my arm out, and I was convinced that like if I did this, my arm would just snap because that's how weird it felt.
Really? So wait, that was the bicep.
Yeah, it was the first time I tore it.
You had your arm straight?
No, like I hit the bag.
Oh, then it stayed straight.
I was like,
oh my God!
And then I didn't want to move my arm because I was convinced that like it would just roll up into my shoulder.
Oh my God! Did it though?
What?
Did it roll up?
It didn't. But...
No, me neither.
It came up. I tore it from the bottom up, so it shifted up to here, right? Like yours kind of did.
Yeah, like a little bit up.
And then I just, but then I got it fixed, and then I gradually been tearing it all over again from boxing and stuff. So it's just getting worse and worse.
Yeah, Jesus.
It's a slow tear this time.
A slow tear. Yeah, mine retracted 2 inches, I think. And it says on the medical paper that it's a full tear, but there's a little string left. So I can bend my arm. There's like a little string left that's just holding on. So that's why I can bend my arm. And also the brachialis is doing most of the work now. But it went up a little bit, and I tried to like simile flex, and it's kind of weird. It's like the bicep is kind of like further near the pec. It's not good looking. And if I
hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. If I wasn't like if it wasn't my job to bodybuild, the surgeon said like you could have leave it like that, but you have a lot of weakness on it. But you with the heavy weights you do in the training, and we got to fix it. I'm like, all right. Yeah.
And aesthetically, won't look right.
Yeah, true.
You'll have a mutant arm like me.
Yeah, but yours is cool because if you have a T-shirt, it's retracted at the bottom.
So it looks like it's
like
jacked.
A freaking peak. Yeah, yeah. Because if mine would go up like that and have a T-shirt, it look like I have an elbow. That's it. So it's not good. Yeah. So that happened, and the cause is like I think is just first of all doing a movement that I'm not used to. And it's actually the same movement when I tore my this one. When I was trying to move the plates, I was bent over. I was like that. And I jerked it to the side. And this one was a jerking movement in a bear hug also. So it's like, guys, don't do that. Don't do that.
It's like that extended position of like your
super
arm
weak,
lengthened.
Right?
It's like, and then when you go to like pull quickly, it's like, it's terrible.
Yeah. No,
like I know guys that have torn their bicep because they like dropped their bike, like their crotch rocket, and they're like, I remember my buddy told me he kind of dumped onto him and he went to like lift it off of him and just snapped his bicep right up.
Justin Huey, just like a few days after my tear, he tore his. Justin,
really?
Yeah, Justin from Team HD, trainer.
What did he do?
Something about the Smith machine. He picked up the bar, he kind of twisted to rack it.
Yeah.
And then bicep snapped. So that's a weird one. You pick up the Smith and you just like kind of like want to rack it like that, I guess, or something. I don't know. Maybe try to pull it with his bicep like that. Same thing.
Yeah.
It was like at the extension. Try to like jerk the bar, then it blew up. So it's like,
but some people it's just like you're so bound down, and there's so much like going on in terms of how tight you are or restrictions you have. And it's like it just takes the right angle to like just make that weakness just go right.
Rip it off. And also
that's how I tore my pec, because I was like I tore it doing 200-pound dumbbells, but it was like years of abuse and like fucked up shoulder, like everything it was just a ticking time bomb, right? And that's just when it went. But it wasn't because I tried to do this or because I tried to do that. It wasn't one movement. Like I was super healthy.
Yeah.
Like my shoulder was already compromised before that. For you, it's more of like a freak thing, but a lot of people, like when they do these big tears, it's like that area has been weak for a long time, and now it's like forced to work or do something it's not used to, and it just goes, right?
Yeah, that's horrible.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You know, for those who never had a tear, you can't understand like how like freaky it is and how scary it is. Like if your job is like, or if your passion is just bodybuilding and you tear a muscle, it's like you get the first one. I was really scared. I actually cried in the gym. I was like on my knees and like in a little ball because I knew what happened. Like I never had a tear before, but I knew that was a tear for sure. Look at my arms, different. It went up, and I cried a little bit because I was 2 weeks out from New York Pro, and I was going to do the Toronto after that, and I was in good shape. Like I was a lot better than 2018. And then it was just like that I didn't know, is my career over? Is it everything over? What's going to happen? Or maybe it's a surgery. Maybe I can come back to training. Should I just do the Dorian-Yates training and go on the train by step on stage? But we decided that the best option is for long term and to get the surgery. And I was like, oh, okay, well, all right. So I did the MRI in Buffalo the next day. And I think within 2 weeks, I got the surgery, like 13 days. This time it's longer. So I'm annoyed. Justin tore it after me. He's getting a surgery before me.
That's to be within 2 weeks-ish, doesn't it?
He said 3. He said that under 3 is happy.
Yeah.
So it's, it's according to the surgeon, I'm good. So, what happened? You know what happened? Why it's been postponed a week? Is because Dr. Khan said, Dr. Vayette, he's the specialist in that kind of trauma.
He told you, and he jacked up your arm and.
Yeah, and he told my arm. He was grabbing my arm and pulling on my tendon, and I just had the tear. And I was like, ah. He said, oh, you're sensitive. I'm like, you're an idiot. Like
the first when I did mine, the first time I went to like. Just an ER. I forget where it was. I think I went to like there's one at like out in Mississauga, like Etobicoke area, because a friend of mine, a nurse I know, worked there. So she's like, "Well, I'll bring you in right away." And I saw this guy. I don't even remember his name. I wish I did, so I could just bash him. But he was like, he's like, "Oh, you tore your bicep," and he's like, "Yeah, this is what happens when you use steroids." And I'm like, "What?" Like, what are you talking about? And then the guy, he starts telling me, he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna cut you up your arm here." Up to here, we're gonna open your arm, and then we're gonna reattach everything. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I've looked into this. Like, I know people who've had bicep tears, and like, that's not what happens at all. He's like, well, your arm's too big. Your arm's too big.
That guy sucked.
I literally stood up and I left the fucking office.
You're like, after he said that, you just left.
I was like, yeah, okay, man. He's like, we can get you in this week. I was like, yeah, I'll see you this week. And I never went back. And then I went to Dr. Gallia.
Yes. Yes.
he got me in to see. I forget who it was now. I forget his name, but he did it. I managed to tear it again, so good for me.
Yeah, Jesus. So yeah, the doctor, who kind of wanted him to do it. He watched my stuff. He said, "Yeah, the other one there on the right. Well, if he did it on the right, that surgeon has the right of refusal for the left." And I'm like, "Yes, it's some type of
they stake claim on your body parts.
yes. It's like they have a code or something." And Dr. Khan was not even aware of it. So because of that, I had a pre-op with Dr. Avayed, who just told me to leave and come back for another pre-op with Dr. Chahal. And Dr. Chahal was like a week later. So I lost a week doing nothing just because one guy refused to do it. And then I told Dr. Chahal that. And then I said, by the way, Dr. Avayed is weird, huh? Then they both laughed. Yeah, he's a character. So he's like just some eccentric surgeon that think is cool or something. I don't know what's going on. But no disrespect, of course. I don't know most of the things that goes on in the hospital and surgery, so don't get at me. But yeah, but
right before you're going under the knife.
No. Oh
offense
shit!
to all the surgeons out there.
Yeah. No,
I love all you guys.
No, for real, Chahal is cool, and he's like, because he did my right, I'm super comfortable with him doing my left because he did an awesome job with the right, and he's actually ranked in the top surgeons in Ontario or something. So that's cool. Yeah.
Anybody that Dr. Khan recommends, or those guys, that group of guys recommends, you're fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you're not walking in off the street to
no
some random ER.
Like
fix this for me.
Like your guy that was saying you were too big.
That was terrifying.
Wow.
It was terrifying. I had literally I wasn't worried. Obviously I was upset because I was like, oh fuck, I tore my bicep, and I was upset. And then when I saw him, he made it 1,000 times worse. I was like, holy fuck, my arm's gonna be fucking look like it's been through a wood chipper.
Yeah, because all they do that they did for the right one, which they will repeat for the left here, they do an incision right here, and Chahal likes to do another one here. This one here is to help pull the tendon, so it's easy to go grab, and then he attaches it here, and then they drill a hole through the bone, and then there's an anchor that just keeps it from going up while the tendon sticks to the bone, because that's what tendon does. Tendons are like duct tape from a bone to a muscle. And I didn't know that you could actually, if it tears, you put it through like that, and then it sticks to the bone inside and over. So logically, it's actually more solid because it's stuck from the inside. So it's very rare that I heard that you can re-tear the same one, but you did that, right?
Oh yeah, I managed to do it.
The same place or higher?
They say it's hot. They say it's hard, but I did it.
The same tendon?
No, I think what's happened with this. I think what's happened with my bicep is that I originally tore it, and it was up from my elbow, and now it's drooping from the top. So I think I've fucking tore it from the top now that the anchors in the bottom was so strong.
Probably, yeah.
It was it was compromised up top, and it started coming down.
Oh my god!
It's just gradually, it's gradually getting closer and closer to my elbow.
Yeah, you're gonna have a bicep right here on your wrist at some point.
Yeah, I'll just flex my forearm.
Yeah,
for my bicep.
Yeah, since we're talking about the bicep there, should we just move on to some questions that people have?
Sure.
What do you think? And they're pretty good, so I'm gonna go get them.
For sure, one of them is about wiping your ass. I know that.
Yeah, I have the answer for that. And we're gonna start with that, Mike. Then, the one of the things I'm the most grateful for with this bicep there is that last time I tore my right, I'm right-handed. So now at least I can wipe my ass with my right hand, my good hand.
There you go.
So that's good. Yeah.
You can do other things too.
And other things too. Wink. Like cooking or cleaning. Yeah. So, okay. So this guy said, what exercise did you tear it with? It was with furniture. A lot of bodybuilders, when they tear something, it's never when they do bodybuilding. It's when they do something they're not used to, like sprinting or whatever other sport. And or it's for Mike, for your case, it was at the cage for your pec, right? Just not warmed up really, just tired and yeah.
Yeah, my shoulder was a mess before that though. So
Okay.
it wasn't. It was just waiting to go.
So it's either like a lot of time like muscle tears or like if you're in pain with a certain ligament or you're tense in the like over there on the shoulder or something for like years, and at some point it's just gonna give out, right? If you don't take care of it.
Oh yeah.
So that's what happened for you, and for me it was a freak accident, and I guess it's when you do movements that you're not used to, and maybe in conditions that are not normal, like dehydrated. Because for sure, when I tore both ones, I was dehydrated. 'Cause I was 2 weeks out. I was going hard. Maybe I didn't drink enough water that day. And for this one I just did, I was like moving so much stuff. I was sweating all day, just moving, 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 and that probably didn't help.
No.
No. And you know what I've Duncan Pumpkin. He's one of the first clients I had back in 2016 when I was coming back. He actually said that an orthopedic surgeon, I think that's what the guys are doing this, but that surgeon said that vaping can weaken the tendons because there's like acetic buildup that goes in the tendon. So
Yeah, well, I would assume that
so
vaping or ingesting any smoke was probably not good.
I know that. I know that, but it's a way of coping with shit sometimes. But you know what? If there's proof, I told him go get the article that she read it at, and if it's true, I will quit this forever because I like to stop and start again sometimes. So
You got to be careful with like scientific studies like that because they're very specific, right? It's not like
yes, they're like yeah.
study specific things. They're not talking about, and you can't apply it to broad things. But I would assume that shit's probably not good for you on many levels outside of that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so does eating muffins every day, Mike.
No, muffins are good.
Muffins are good. Yeah. Which one's your favorite muffins?
I gotta go with chocolate chip.
No, but like which brand? Which like Tim Hortons?
The best muffins in the world are Costco muffins.
Oh yeah, those big ones, oily. They're shiny at the top.
Yeah, they're like sheened with vegetable oil. Or
yeah, it just goes. It soaks through the plastic and the cardboard. Yeah, it's good. Those are crazy.
Like, why are these muffins moist?
They've been there for a month. They're still moist. It's just oil.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, Yaya Lucas is asking me, how painful is that shit? For real, it was like super painful when it happened, but you're so like in shock that it's like
it's more like a disgusting feeling than an actual like pain.
Yeah.
I don't remember ever like being in pain. I remember like I felt like a crampy sensation, like a tightness, but I just felt this like nauseous feeling.
It's disgusting. Would you get kicked in the balls really hard or have the pain of a muscle tear without the muscle tear?
Probably just I'd take one in the balls because I wouldn't have a tear after I was done with that.
No, but there would be no tear. It's like a machine that projects pain in your head.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Probably the ball Probably the ball kick.
Yeah, the ball kick, really?
Probably.
Well, if it's...
I just remember like the feeling was like it was like anxiety and like
everything,
nausea, all blended into one, and I was like, I literally didn't know what to do with myself. Like I just kept looking at my arm and like looking at my body.
Yeah,
and I was like,
it's like what the yeah, Jesus.
And then the fact that I convinced myself that if I bent my arm, my bicep would tear more. So I was like trying to do everything with my arm like this. I was like getting off the ground with a straight arm. I was trying to put my shirt on with my arm as straight as I could.
Wow.
I was like, maybe if I don't bend it, it'll go back to where it was.
Yeah, like you want to see what mine looks like? Because I can move it a little bit.
Mine didn't bruise up as much as yours either.
No, mine was a good tear then.
Yeah.
See that?
That's how my pec looked when I did it. It was like all down my like side into my bicep.
I know. It's crazy. Let's see.
Go hit some curl. Go hit some curls.
You're crazy. It's holding by one string. Yeah.
You gotta make that one string strong, man. Don't let it fucking get weak.
I know. Jesus. I hate this thing. It's so annoying. So yeah, so it did hurt. No, what was the most painful of your tears, Mike?
Hmm.
Well, which one was the most painful of all your tears?
Uh, to be honest, none of them were painful. They were all just that nasty feeling. Like when I tore my pec, it just felt like something released, which was like not a feeling you're ever supposed to feel in your body, where something lets go inside of you. Like it just felt like it just let go, and I was like,
What was the sound of it?
no, there was no sound. It
No
was just a
sound for
feeling
you?
like, no, it's just like it just felt like it just like gradually just opened off, and then some idiot at the cage was like pulling my arm back. Because I was
Oh,
holding my chest. I was holding my chest. I was like, "Oh fuck, what happened?" I could feel a hole. And then he's like, just stretch it out. Just
just
how it
stretch it
is.
out.
He's like, stretch it out. And I was like, no, no, no. I was like pulling my arm back
Oh
down.
my God! Pulling it back
And
down with,
within
ouch.
by like maybe a half hour, not even a half hour after that, I was like, they're like, oh man, it's probably just a strain and blah blah. And I took my shirt off, and there was just like
Your pick was
purple like
right away.
blobs, like,
Right away.
yeah. No, I tore
Oh,
it so bad
wow! That's
because
crazy.
I tore the muscle. I tore the muscle apart. I
Oh,
didn't
the
tear the
muscle
tendon off the
tear.
bone. I
That
literally
I
like,
heard that's more painful.
well, I wasn't.
Oh,
It just felt awful. It
yeah,
just like felt like I said, like something released that wasn't
yeah.
supposed to release, and all of a sudden my arm was in a different spot than it should be.
Ouch. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
me.
nasty.
The sound of this one was like a Velcro like that, and a snap. But this one was like I'm gonna try to mimic it, something like that, but with more bass. Something weird.
Yeah.
It was like, and I felt it's like even my bone was getting detached. It was so weird. It's like I felt like my arm was like falling off, like detached. So that was crazy. But yeah, it was painful to resume. Do you think you'll be able to compete in 2022? All the best, man. Thank you, Abiz. Well, that's what I did in 2019. I tore it, and then I came back in the next year. Yeah, and then I qualified for the Olympia. So in 2022, I think it is possible.
Yeah.
I'll be able to train somewhat good with both arms. I think in 5 months. Maybe less now if we're doing the crazy PRP that Dr. Khan is talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the meantime, which I'm
Did you
starting.
do that last time though?
No, I didn't. I did do the PRP.
Don't
And
do it this time. Man.
really? Oh, you
Well,
just
you look how good, look how well you healed without it.
yeah. If he jams the big needle in there while it's like fixed, getting
I'm just
fixed.
not. I'm like. I know that like that stuff helps people and it is what it is, but it's like I just don't get it. Like I get it for like long time nagging stuff that you don't want to like
But not a clean tear.
necessarily not necessarily have surgery for. Like it's like little issues you're having, but it's like my body. I have faith that my body knows what to do. Right,
Yeah.
like your body healed your other bicep perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So it's like now all of a sudden I'm going to be like, oh, my body's not good at this anymore. It's like eat right, take care of yourself, do your rehab the way you're supposed to, and get the
Yeah.
fucking thing moving again.
Yeah,
It's like, you'll
yeah.
be fine.
That took. I was very quick to get my movement and range of motion. It took
Yeah.
me 2 weeks, and I went to the rehab place. It was like, okay, we're supposed to be there. I'm like, just fell. They're like, oh, all right. Well, you don't have to come back. I'm like, cool. Yeah, but yeah, but I did use the last there, those peptides, and even Dr. Khan actually said that I should use them again for the stairs. I don't know the names. Do you know the names?
Is it like the BPC
500.
BB5? Yeah, yeah,
And there's another one called BPC sub. Well, I don't know what the hell it is.
yeah, like 157 or something.
Yeah, yeah. Or
Yeah, I use that stuff too, but that's what I mean. Like I don't. It's like if you're taking stuff that you normally there's going like you're taking an injection and it's going into your body and going to the area that's trying to help out. I get that, but it's like these fucking injections. I just
but the thing with PRP is that it works if you inject in the tear. Like don't inject in my tendon.
yeah.
Like
No, like I get that it works, and I know people that it works and stuff like that. I just personally feel like
I would not be.
I'm not down with that.
I would not be thrilled to have a needle jam in my tendon that's being repaired.
I'll just roll the dice and hope that my body does what it does.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'll be able to compete in 2022. Like
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the improvement.
It's like it's not like it's like when people say, "Are you going to be able to compete because your biceps?" Like you're just like, have you ever like, are you? What are you doing? 150-pound dumbbell curls with your bicep? No, like you're doing 40s, 30s. Like you're working up to like weight that's like the only thing you'd have to worry about is like if you came back and you started doing heavy back stuff, like heavy pulls and heavy like. You know what I mean? Like where there's a heavy load out in front of you. And
pull downs, the pull downs with the hand like and supinated was like kind of weird for a while, so I was not doing them.
Because that's like your tendon that's like your bicep in a fully lengthened position again, and then it's pulling down, right? So it's like that's where you have to like. It's not when you start coming back and doing bicep, you're very conscious of like how it's moving and.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was very cautious. At first, I was doing like I could have went at it faster, but I was doing isometrics with 10 pounds. And then I was like going down a little bit, like 20 seconds, hold it there. So I would do that with my right, and then with my left, I would curl like 350 pounds. But my arm got pretty small and beat up. It got down to 18 and some change inches.
Yeah.
So, but it got back to the size that it was before, actually. No problem.
Yeah.
It was actually
once your body starts recognizing that everything's good, and it's like, okay, let's get back to putting lots of blood in there and working the way we used to.
Exactly, because that worked. It was good. My back was getting pretty good, actually. You know, we'll have to do our secret technique once we can. It's Robbie G Fitness is asking, how long are you expected to be out? So like we just said, I'm guessing this year's a write-off. This year's just about recovery and getting back in like shape after this arm. Just I could use it to train because it is going to be smaller. It is going to be beat up. And
did they cast you last time you got your surgery?
No, I had one of those things that you would that locks so it doesn't go too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, no cast. So I had that. So that's not too bad.
My guy put me in a cast, and I was like, "This is fucking terrible."
So you wanted to scratch yourself, and you were itchy. You couldn't.
Yeah, it was awful.
That's awful.
I had a cast on for like 4 weeks or something, or 3 weeks.
Oh wow! What was the smell after? What was the smell when you removed it?
It was fucking.
Did you smell it?
It wasn't that bad actually, but it was like the feeling. There's another disgusting feeling, like anyone knows who's had a cast taken off. Like when the cast comes off and your body and your like arm just like kind of falls a bit more than it had been. It's like another fucking nauseous, want to throw up feeling.
Really?
You're like, oh god, like because it's like you've been in this rigid position for so long, and then like all of a sudden, even just a degree down or like a degree up feels just odd, right? Because the body's not used to it. I felt.
Yeah, that's weird.
It felt like disgusting.
That's weird because I would think you would gradually want to get your range of motion back. So they remove the cast, you can just open it up like that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because your body's stuck in this position for so long.
Yeah.
If it's been a couple weeks, it's still like, it's also come right out of the trauma of having a surgery right into this position. So now it's like, it's never experienced any position outside of this since the trauma. So it's like, it doesn't want to let go, or like even if you feel like you can, you want to like catch your own arm.
Yeah.
Or like let your own arm.
It was pulling.
It just doesn't. Yeah, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I had the thing with the lock for the different degrees, and sometimes I would like hit something and the degree would go higher, and my arm would extend further than usual. Like I would feel like the scar first of all ripping off, and I would feel like the tendon and the bone being all weird. It was weird. Yeah, it wasn't fun. But I'll be back in 2022 for sure. So I'll be maybe like, for sure I'm like 2 months where I'm doing like fucking little bullshit exercises. But then I can slowly like train normal. And I was using like the things to hang on the elbows for the hanging leg raises. Yeah. I would put it with my elbow. I would like squeeze. I would do rows with that on my elbows, so I don't have to use my bicep. Yeah. So I did that. I did a few things. All right, let's do another question. Any advice on preventing a bicep tear? So we kind of said that earlier.
Lift boxes.
Huh?
Don't lift boxes.
Don't lift anything but weights in the gym.
Number one tip: when you move, hire movers.
Yes. You know what's good when people make mistakes and you see them online and you're like, oh shit, that's bad. Well, I made the mistakes of like, no, I'll move my own stuff because I wasn't moving a couch, I wasn't moving a fridge. Well, actually, it was a freezer, but I wasn't moving like super heavy stuff. So I thought I won't hire any movers because, first of all, I was sick and I was doing a little bit every day. Until the end, I was doing a lot. But I should have hired movers. I should have hired like people to even pack my shit. So I should have hired like, because I have the money, but I was like, you know what, I'm a man, I can do that stuff.
Well, it's also like when you're moving and you're doing these things, these are different movements than you're used to. And when you go into the gym, when you go to do biceps or any body part, you do warm-up sets, right? True. So you get your muscle acclimated to moving with a weight, and it's like, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 5 minutes, and so I'm going to show you what I want to do, and then we're going to put the weight up and up and up. It's like you never allow, when you're doing stuff outside the gym, like picking things up or like moving in these weird, you don't have practice of like knowing the body knows the motion. So it's like that's when weird shit happens because you overcompensate or you like I'm saying, like there's a little shift and you go to grab and next thing you know you pop, right? So I don't think it's something you can prevent against unless you're going to start developing moving warm-up techniques for people.
Oh, it's avoiding all that shit. Pick up a light box. Yeah.
Pick up a light box. Pick up a heavy box.
Yeah. It's avoiding all that shit and getting help moving stuff. Because a fridge, if I was two people, it would have been fine. And I guess also if you're a bodybuilder, don't do sports. Don't start a sport where you never did for years. Right?
Or when you do it, start very slowly.
Yeah.
It's like when like guys like who are big guys, they want to get into like boxing or into like different sports. It's like start out like you would if you were just beginning to be a bodybuilder. You wouldn't start benching 4 plates, right? So don't go in the gym and start hitting the bag full tilt and doing all this sprinting and moving quickly that you're not acclimated to, right? Like it's okay to just take it slow.
Actually, I don't know if it was a tear because there was a little bit of blue on my hamstring, like little speckles. So it wasn't in the muscle in the middle. But there's a treadmill here that I don't know how it's called. You run on it, and it runs
and it moves itself.
Yes. So I was trying to beat Rachel and her friend. She's a black girl. Like she's super, like she does figure. She's long legs. Like it was unbeatable. So I tried to beat her number. It was like six something. I don't remember what it was, but I was almost there. Sprinting I was like almost 300 pounds. It was after this because I was bored. I was like, I'm gonna start doing other stuff, and I snapped. I did a full sprint, my full power. The thing snapped. I was like limping. I was like, oh no, what have I done? But I was fine. It was just a little muscle tear, and I was okay. But it's like you can't go full on with anything unless you're warmed up and it's things that you're used to. So
and you got to get your body used to like the modality of what you're doing, right? Like. If you're a bodybuilder and you want to start sprinting or doing high intensity interval training type stuff, like maybe start jogging and then maybe like walk and then maybe jog, get your body, because the lengthening and shortening of the hamstring on such a short amount of time or a quick little burst is like, it doesn't happen in the sport you do. So you have to like get your body used to like that range, like thinking like an elastic band, like your elastic band is brittle and stiff, so we got to slowly like lubricate it and get it to like want to go further before we just go open, like
it's crazy.
That's when pop.
And that's how Antoine Hamlet tore his Achilles tendon. Showing a client how to do a box jump. I wonder if the client did it after.
He was telling me that when I met him at Quentin's birthday. The first time I met him. He's really nice.
What did he say?
Super nice guy.
Yeah, he is. So what did he say actually?
No, like that's what he was explaining.
Yeah, okay.
He's just like all of a sudden he's like something I just demonstrated this thing, and next thing I know, and I was like, I'm like it's crazy how it always is like that random thing that causes it, right? Or something you never thought would be the thing that hurt you. You're like, holy fuck, this thing just devastated me. Like me punching a fucking punching bag. Like it wasn't the first time I punched a punching bag. It wasn't the first time I boxed. It was just like the angle I came around and my my fist hit, it made my elbow jump, and that little jolt movement, my bicep went.
Yeah. Every time I was
It's like, but it,
yeah, I was in rehab. Like one of the rehabs, I was hitting the bag a lot because it was one of the only things they had, and I don't know how to punch properly. Like I could punch, I can knock someone out probably, but I don't know all the techniques of like they're all for a right jab, a hook, or whatever. So I was just punching that shit like I was like full of hatred. So I was like, that was like I was like my elbows. I was like hurting everywhere. I'm like I can't do this. Like it's I can't like I don't know how the guys do it. I guess it's years and years of practice and just your bones are used to the shock or something or.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's why there's so much conditioning done on heavy bags. Heavy bags they're to not really to mimic a person, because like obviously they're just right in front of you, but it's that impact of like using your body to hit things and like having the impact of you going into the bag and that impact coming back, right?
Oh, you let it swing?
That's no, but like when you hit,
yeah,
like as much effort's going into the bag as coming into you, right?
Yes,
so
yes,
there's the force going in is you hitting and it comes back into your body, right? So like that's what creates these like that's why you see a lot of boxers, they're very like I don't know how to describe the physique. Like it's very like tight, in the sense that they're like very tight frame. When they hit things, like it's very everything is very locked in like into a motion of hitting. So it's like their body's hitting it. It looks like you're just hitting with their hand, but everything's coming from their body, right?
Yeah, for
so
sure.
It's like to build that foundation of that power of being able to like hit things and with all your power and recoil back just like where you were. That's like that's why you see a lot of guys doing conditioning work on heavy bags, because the heavy bag, one, it doesn't move and it's heavy, and there's a reason why it's called a heavy bag, is it's fucking heavy, and it's like that force that you need to hit that bag and then be able to recover back from hitting it. It conditions all the muscles along the pathway of what you're hitting, right? So
so those are the long ones that are really heavy.
Yeah.
I heard also heard that the boxers with narrow shoulders are better punchers than wide shoulders. Is that true?
I don't know about that one.
No,
I have no idea.
Because maybe if you're wide, you can't like do as much guard, or maybe it takes more inertia to like swing around. Because with a guy that's like narrow, you can probably like turn faster.
I know that being a wider guy, like that's why a lot of bodybuilders are like big dudes who box. When they go in their guard, like look how many holes I have, right?
Yeah.
I can't get my arms in tight.
Well, kind of.
If I can get my arms in tight, the sides behind my head are open, right?
Oh.
Because I can't be here. So like the narrower you are.
So wait, you protect your ears and your.
The more of a shell that you can create, where like you're impenetrable in terms of like I'm in my shell and you can't hit me. Like I have holes here, and like if I even move my hand a bit, I have even more holes, right? So it's like I would see how it would be a benefit to be a little narrower, but not narrow in the sense that like your structure is narrow, just you're able to get tighter.
Yeah.
So that you're able to shell up more, so that like you can not take as much punishment, or you can block a lot of better shots. There's not as many holes in for guys to hit you, right? So that's why big guys have a problem, because you see Eddie Hall and Thor are gonna box.
Did you watch it? Did you watch the fight?
Did they fight already, or are they going to?
I think they did. I think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I heard it was. I heard it was an embarrassment, but I didn't see it.
Because it's like watching even those guys hit pads is a fucking joke. Like, you're not like you're boxing each other, so it's cool, but like it's an insult to like real boxers who put their life into it, right? Like it's not like you're not boxing. That's not boxing.
No, wait, they're professional boxers. Remember what you told me?
Yeah.
If you get a manager who could be one too. Yeah.
You just say you want to say you're a pro and you're a pro.
Yeah. Imagine if
you're not
was like that.
You're not a pro.
No.
You're not a pro.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to another question. Also, like for the advice to prevent bicep tears, be hydrated. I think that's a big one.
Yeah, and warm up. Like really
warm up. Yeah.
Don't be in a rush to like. You got to think about how small that muscle is to begin with, and how small that tendon is that attaches it. So like, why don't you get that really warm with light weight and really get a lot of blood in the area and synovial fluid in the joint, so that like when you start to move those heavier loads, your muscle's primed and ready to actually move them. It's not a shock to your muscle, right?
Yeah. Yeah. for sure. This one, Gustavo Alexandre 120. How are you mentally dealing with this injury? Well, this one I was really scared and I was stressed out. This one I know I'll be fine, but I'm like pretty annoyed. And to be honest, it's like I was kind of like depressed and shit. But I'm staying positive. I know I'll be fine. But I feel better since I got the pre-op with Dr. Chahal, and I talked to the surgeon and stuff. And I'm gonna go back to the gym tomorrow. But because I was sick before, it's not COVID. Maybe it is, but I didn't want to be a statistic. I did go get the test, so I did. I don't want to help that corrupt system. I'm just kidding. Yeah. But yeah, so I did train for like 2 weeks, and then I was moving, and then I got the tear, and now it's been like 10 days, like so maybe a month I didn't train. That never happened in my life, ever.
Yeah.
Ever. So it's the first time, and I feel like the longer you go without, you feel kind of weird. You feel like bad. And it's like, oh, like why would I go today? It's like, well,
I think when a lot of people like, because everyone goes through that. Like, it's not like every day everyone wakes up and they're just like super energized and ready to go. Like, you obviously want to go to the gym, but you may not mentally be like, fuck, I feel like I'm dragging ass today, right? It's like, I think when people start to get in those like mental mindsets, it's better that you go. It's better that you do go, but like really like. That's what I talk about when people are like, they're like, oh, I deload and I do like this. It's like, well, on the days when you wake up or like you're having like you're going through stressful times and stuff, it's like maybe just go to the gym and just get moving. Like, just because you go to the gym doesn't mean you have to like fucking kill yourself every day.
No, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like do some cardio, get your blood flow, get your blood moving around, like start to feel good. Like, and even if you end up only being there for like 20 sets, 30 sets, 50 sets, like because you just don't have it in you. It's like you'd be amazed how much that might like the next day might be a better day. You know what I mean? Because like, oh, I got that fucking anxiety over that kind of fucking shitty feeling out. And that's why I mean, it's I encourage people like when we talk about training and stuff like that, and people are quizzing me now about like different training methodologies and this guy's training. It's like it comes up to you, right? It's like if I don't have that in me that day, for whatever reason, like maybe you're not feeling well mentally, or maybe you just slept like shit, or fucking, you know what I mean? It's like just go to the gym and do what you can, like be honest with yourself and get the sets in, get the movement in. I guarantee you, when you leave the gym, you'll be like, I feel better.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
And that'll carry on into like maybe the next day is the same. I don't really have much energy, but I feel a little better. I'm gonna do more cardio today. Yeah. I'm going to do a little less weights. I'm going to go for more of a pump. I'm not going to really try and push myself too much. It's like the next thing you know, you're back on track. These guys who think every day I got to go in there and fucking kill it. It's like, no, that's impossible.
No, it's impossible.
It's fucking impossible.
Yeah.
And anyone who's telling you that they're doing that every day is a fucking liar. And they're fucking lying to themselves and pushing themselves past the brink of like where they should be, and they're just like a big ball of cortisol.
Yeah, and
their bodies are just like broken down and not responsive. And yeah, they're there every day. Fucking, I lifted 5 plates on a fucking deadlift and and I felt like shit. It's like, but I went. It's like, well, would you have been better off doing 3?
Yeah,
and not feeling like shit,
or picnic.
Like, yeah, or just like. Maybe eating more that day and getting your micronutrients back up, and like overeating a bit and getting your energy, because that's probably what's going on. And then go back the next day and be like, yeah, and I'm gonna have a good day today. Like,
yeah, well, Jay would turn around when he felt bad. He said it. Jay would feel bad. He would feel it. You know, the stars were on the line properly, and he saw a sign he didn't like on the highway. He would turn around and would come back another day or later in the day.
It's funny too, because in other sports, like in like boxing, we talked about, like. You're not sparring every day, man.
No.
You're not hard sparring every day and fucking bashing your brains in and fucking this, like, you don't, good, even top boxers, they spar like 1 day a week, 2 days a week. And they also don't spar to fucking kill each other, right? So it's like, if you're taking that same mentality into bodybuilding and you're like, every day I have to fucking cripple myself, or I have to train so hard I can barely move after. It's like, that's not what they're doing in any other sport. So why do you think that it's working for what you're doing?
Yeah.
It's like thinking It's like thinking a world-class sprinter. Like, you think Usain Bolt fucking sprints full tilt every day? He sprints full tilt 1 day.
Really?
It's at the fucking Olympics.
Really?
And it's not even at the fucking at the heats to get into the final. It's at the final that that guys like that will be
Smokes
like
everybody.
That's my PR. I never
Wow.
hit that fucking PR, but when I got to the
Really?
Olympics, I was primed and ready to hit what I need to hit or the most I'm gonna hit. Right?
That's interesting.
Like it's like, and it's the same thing with like a lot of powerlifters. Like you see powerlifters at competitions, like when they're trying to hit their weights for their however many attempts they get for their total. Like you're not going for their top weight on the first one.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Why
Yeah.
would you do
They
that?
have
It's fucking
an
crazy.
opening weight, they call it.
Yeah. They want to get a weight on the board, right? That they know they can get. So like I know I can get this weight, and then like that last and third weight is like
It's like
I'm a little iffy on this one.
yes.
This could go either way.
Yeah. Usually if they do an opener and their second one, I'm guessing, is the one they want to have a PR on, and then if they have a nice PR, they add like 2.5 pounds or something stupid, and they try again. Well, I don't know. I probably knows more, but this is how it works. Like opening is like an opener you're sure to do. The second lift usually like in powerlifting is like 20 pounds more, but it's like a PR. The second one, yeah, the second one's a PR. And then the third one is like let's give it. If you didn't get your PR, you try again. Yes, roll the dice. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes people like add 50 pounds. I feel great on squats, and they just die. But yeah. So what was that? Oh, the mentally. Yeah. So, I mean, it was harder mentally, like because I think what happened is that this one I wasn't prep, so I was more pissed, more disappointed, more scared. But I had a routine that was like on the ball. With this one, I was like I was moving. I was training for 2 weeks. It was the worst combination of things that could have happened for me to feel good about myself. So but my friends were reaching out and stuff, and I'll be back. It doesn't matter. I probably lost like for sure. I lost over 20 pounds, for sure.
Yeah, but you also don't need to be carrying around that 20 pounds right now when it's not needed.
No,
right?
I actually feel good at this weight.
It's a benefit. It's a hidden benefit if you can think of it for your heart and your health, right? So
True.
Yeah, I mean, a few less months of carrying around 300 plus pounds is probably going to help you heal a lot better, and probably going to help you move a lot better once you get going again, right? So
yeah, that's true though. Yeah, because I do feel better at this weight, whatever that
probably
is.
kind of your body's way of naturally being like, chill out, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Take a break for a minute.
I'm chilling out right now.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm dealing with it, but you know what? It is hard to be honest, but when I think about what it really is and how this one recovered and how I went to the Olympia after this one, I know I'll be back. That's not a problem. I'm just annoyed by it, but then I think about the real problems in the world, like people who have no arms, or people who don't have food, like all these type of you can think about a lot of stuff. So I think about that, and I try to be gratitude, and I try to stay positive. Like I said earlier, I still got my good hand to wipe my ass instead of having it in a freaking sling there. So there's always something good in everything, and we'll be able to make great content with Laura for showing the journey through recovery for the bicep there. And there's already one video that's on the HG Muscle channel, so you can go watch that. I guess you can just type Antoine bicep tear HG Muscle on YouTube, you'll find it. All right, so another question is some of them are not even like this guy says adopt me. Adopt me.
Okay.
That's not a question. It's not about the bicep tear. Okay. This guy's asking me in French, comment va ton bicep? How's your bicep? It's fucked.
It's fine. Thanks for asking.
It's fucked. It's detached. All right. Look at this guy. Kevin Gear 90. You seem more relaxed this time. You don't see me most of the time. Like right now, it's like I have to like play this up a little bit for you guys, but I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna be like, no, I'm kidding.
He was crying before we came on. We had to calm him down.
Yeah, with the water.
You gotta do the fucking show. We gotta do the podcast.
Ah, fuck. No, I don't want to. Do you feel more confident about your recovery? Yes, in the sense that because I've done it, been there, done that. I know that this one, I know the process. And I got a big infection on this. That's why my scar is like so apparent here. I had a big lump, like a Rich Piano's forearms here, like a big like sentinel lump. I had that over here. Rest in peace. So Hopefully, yeah, rest in peace. So hopefully I won't have that because it was disgusting. I could like touch my bicep from this distance with the lump. It was literally like the forearm would go like that. There was a lump with a scar with the tax, the metal tax in it. So that sucked. I had to get antibiotics.
I remember in this one I had on the one of the incision in your little bend here. I had like it wouldn't the wound wouldn't close. So it's like I had like it was like the whole thing was sealed, and in the middle there was like a little circle.
Oh yeah.
That would like I thought would like literally was like burrowed right down to like my insides.
Yeah.
Because I was like it was just this black hole. I'm like, buddy, is this gonna fucking close? I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's kind of like gross a little bit, you know.
It was creepy to look at.
Yeah, there was pus coming out from mine.
Yeah, I had to get some. I think Galia gave me some like cream for the whatever it was, just to like.
Yeah.
When it went away like within a week, but I was so freaked out. I'm like, does this hole like go right into my body, like right down to my bicep?
Wow, to the bone. Yeah. Wow, like little ants could go in there. Imagine little bugs. Like, ah! Yeah. So yeah, but the thing is, like I told the child that I got an infection with the right when I was healing, so they're gonna pump me up with some antibiotics a lot at first, and I'm probably gonna get a script from the start to make sure I heal really well, because maybe I'm prone to getting infections. I don't know, but yeah. So because I've done it once, I mean I know what to expect and I know what to correct from the mistakes I've done with the right. So, this guy's boxers or briefs? It's like it's a bicep tear Q&A, brother.
Boxer briefs.
Boxers or briefs, Mike?
Oh, I wear boxer briefs.
Yeah?
Yeah, the combo.
Boxer briefs. Really? Oh, the short ones. Okay. But I like to show the upper thigh detail when I'm prepping. So I like the brief sometimes. So I guess, is it possible to get a tear and not get any bruising? Bowens, 2151. Well, you did, right? You did. There's one tear you didn't have a bruise.
Yeah, well, I had bruising. I just wasn't fucking purple and pink everywhere. But
okay,
I would be willing to bet, like, if you tear something to any serious degree, you're gonna have some type of bruising. Mm-hmm. I'm not a doctor, but
the bruising is caused. It's like because it's cut, because it's detached, right? There's blood leaking in the body, so that's what bruising is. It's just blood.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure you can get a tear without like, unless it's like a super small tear. I don't know.
Yeah.
So doctor said peptides will help with the healing process. What about GH? Would GH help, you think? Would the GH help, allegedly?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, how many units?
I would say the more the better.
Yeah, like the limit is the wallet you're talking about?
Whatever you can afford.
Yeah.
But I would say that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. A lot of questions are the same thing, so I think we covered a lot of stuff. You know? What time is it, Laura?
What did you think about the New York Pro?
Oh, yeah, the New York Pro. So let's jump into the New York Pro review. So I think, personally, it was Nick Walker and everybody else, to be honest. You know? So I'm going to try to find some pictures to just refresh my memory, and I'm sure Laura would put some on the screen there.
I think you could have declared New York Pro like a guest posing feature for Nick Walker.
Yeah. All right, so let's see.
I don't think anyone was close. I thought it was fucking cute I think it was when they posed down the top three at prejudging, and they moved Rodriguez to the middle for a minute. Mm-hmm. I was like thinking when I saw him, like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah, that's cute.
Nice that you're trying to create a story here, but there isn't.
But you know what? I think they do that because they want to compare the second place to the third place. So they remove the first in the middle.
You know, as a bodybuilder, like, if I moved out of the middle, I'm taking, that's a fucking offensive thing. If I think I've won, like, I'm worried, like, oh, what the fuck? But like, it's like it was literally just for show. Like, oh, let's make it look good.
Yeah, true. So like, even his stand, Nick Walker's stand was better. He was like more polished. Everything was better. And from the back, he was like, his legs like from the front, Nick, I find like there's something missing a little bit, but that's if you want to be really hard on him, right? But from the back, his legs are huge, and he was like twice the size of Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So he was really, really good.
I think Nick from the front, like just structurally, his legs aren't as pretty as people want them to be. Because but he just like obviously like Justin from the front, his shape is a prettier shape to look at. Like honestly, if you're talking about just a silhouette and a frame, but the shit that's in the middle of that silhouette and the frame on Nick is like.
Yeah.
No one's near it.
I like his double bicep crunch now.
Yeah.
I like it better like that. Like you said, you don't like vacuums, Mike. You want to see a nab wall.
I fucking hate vacuums.
You hate vacuums.
It's the worst fucking thing ever.
Only for women.
It's such a fucking cop out. Like, oh look, I can suck my stomach in.
Yeah.
Well, great. Where's the muscle?
Yeah, true, right? It's true. Like,
it's like you look at like all the guys that do well at like top shows. Like, there's one consistent theme that's like going through every top pro is dense, packed muscle. So you can be pretty and you can have like all these like X frame and all this stuff, and that stuff's wonderful. But like when it comes down to the top guys, it's about muscle, man.
Yeah.
It's like how much muscle can you put on that frame, and how big, like how blown out can you be, right?
So that's pretty much the open classes.
And that's like, yeah, and like Blessing's got a lot of potential. Blessing's like got to put on like. To be on stage standing against these guys has to like put on like a serious amount of size, and that's crazy to say because he's a big guy, right? But like in order to densely pack that physique with muscle is going to take an effort because it's a very spread out physique, right? Like it's like tiny waist,
long limbs.
Yeah, like long limbs, tiny waist. Like there's not much going on here. The back is good, like up high.
Yeah,
but like the lower lat's awful, and it's like. There's so many places that you still have to pack the clay on to make this sculpture. It's going to take a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to have to be like, you're going to have to change your training to whatever it is to like hit these areas, because if you're just going to keep training the areas that like you're dominant in, which everyone can see because we have fucking eyes, is your upper back, your shoulders, and your arms and your chest. And yeah, but it's like, if Mr. Olympia was judged on arms, our biceps, he'd be Mr. Olympia. But unfortunately, that's not the case, right?
Actually, like Nick Walker has better arms than him, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, let's see. I think Nick Walker has like harder looking, like granite bicep arms, where Blessing is like a full round muscle.
They're like he's got amazing arms too, but they're also on an amazing frame.
Exactly.
So it's not as drastic as when you see an amazing arm on a subpar frame, where you're like, oh man, look at his arms though. It's like, yeah, but you're like you're missing the rest of it. Like this, and this dude, Nick, has got everything's crazy. So everything just kind of looks like normal size because everything is just so good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
balanced.
It's a complete physique.
Yeah. I'm looking at a picture of a Blessing here, but yeah, you look really good, and props to him for like pumping up the shows like that. I'm sure a lot of pay-per-views were sold just because of him. So the show promoter should reward him somehow. Like, like I think they should pay guys to do like a promo like in the WWF back in the day. They should pay guys like, well, we'll give you like 1% of the tickets if you promote the whole thing and make a storyline with this guy. So that'd be a good idea. If I had a show, I would maybe do that. If I had a show and lots of money, I would do lots of cool things. But so the vacuum, you're right. The vacuum is like it kind of makes a hole in the middle,
it has a way of like breaking up the physique.
The flow, yeah. So it's like hard nails muscle, and then there's like a gap here, and then there's like hard muscle there.
It's like, do you not have like a well-formed abdomen, or like I don't understand. Like anybody I've seen who has the best abs in the world, I've never seen them do a vacuum.
Yeah. That's true, yeah.
Because there's like dense packed muscle and like hard abs and like obliques in there, and it's like, yeah, they can pull the ab wall back a bit and create like a little like depth through their rib cage and their abdomen wall, but like to just be able to like suck in and then put my hands up, it's like I think that's one of the stupidest looking poses.
Yeah, it's because the fact that Zane did that.
Yeah, and the fact that it's so like it's treated with such word, like people are like, oh, he's a big guy and he can do a vacuum. Well, vacuums don't win shit, man.
No, they
They
don't.
they you don't win a fucking show with a vacuum. Like,
Yeah.
oh look, you did a vacuum. All show's over.
Show's
Like,
over.
oh, he's
Yeah.
280 and he did a vacuum. Does Big Ramy do a vacuum?
No.
Does fucking Hottie do a vacuum?
Yes.
He can pull his
He can pull. Yeah.
he can pull his ab
But
wall
he
back.
doesn't do a vacuum.
No, but he pulls his ab wall back to show like height in his to get height in his pose, right? So that's you're lengthening the waist to create a bigger taper, right?
Yeah, you know what's crazy about him? I was on stage at the Olympia on the sides because, of course, I was one of the last place. But I saw Hadi and the top 5 guys do a back double, and I saw the other side, right? The side that people don't see, the belly.
And their guts hanging out.
So everybody's gut was kind of hanging out a little bit because that's normal, right? You don't think about that. You think about your back. Hadi had a vacuum. His stomach was like flat, going in, doing a back double.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, this guy's mental. Like, why is he so like, his posing is like...
I think it's a lot to do with like hip tilt, like hip position too, because a lot of guys, when they hit like rear doubles, they arch back so hard. So they have this like interior tilt where they're arching like this. So like if I'm bellied from the side like this, of course my stomach's, if even my stomach's controlled, it's going to hang out a bit because I'm arched so far back, right? Whereas like guys who like, they tuck their hips in and then they hit shots and they come up through.
They stay taller.
It's like a straighter. They stay taller and they're lengthened more, right? And their ab wall stays flatter because they tuck their hip underneath them on those shots, right?
Yeah.
And they don't have that falling over look like all these guys who want to do rear doubles and look like they're like falling backwards.
They say that the judges are down below. Yeah, but you don't have to
but
bend like 90 degrees for that.
They're not in a fucking hole
in the abyss. So second place was Justin Rodriguez. It looked very good. I guess his weakness was legs mainly, and just not enough muscle compared to Nick Walker. I guess Nick Walker was just so bigger and he just like wanted to show us as soon as he stepped on stage, pretty much. And third place,
it was a lot to do with his posing too. Like he was very polished with his posing. Like even when he hit like the front double, he would just like run up front and then he'd like hit the double, and when he hit the rear, like the front lat, he just hit the freaking rat. Like you could tell he wasn't straining to hit his shots, whereas Justin's beside him shaking like he's having epileptic fit.
Really?
Like he was doing like and like you know what I mean? Like he wasn't shaking that bad. I'm exaggerating, but it's like compared to Nick, who was just standing there.
You could see that he was struggling.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you don't need to like. When you're in that good condition, you don't need to flex that hard, man.
Yeah.
It just fucking shows. Like
exactly. So Nick, I find that a lot of pictures, his face is just like normal. He's just like he's not struggling. So yeah, he did pose a lot. The thing that Flex Winner told me is that, for example, before a front double, he does like a certain thing every time. You need to always
set himself.
Yeah, you need to always have the same little choreography before the mandatory pose. So that way you don't think when something happens, they call it side chest, you go through the motion. So that's probably what he did, and it worked. And yeah, so third place was where is he?
It was
Mustafa. Personally, I think he was too soft.
Yeah, I don't like his like from pec line up. I feel like it's like a slouching, like he's a slouching physique, like his shoulders kind of drop, and then he's got like this awesome back and like awesome arms, and
his legs are huge.
Great.
Yeah,
but it's just like it feels like there's like something along here. There's no density. Like you see like a guy who's like got full traps and like rounded cap delts, like, and they have that structure, right? Like I just don't see that with him. It's like a weird. It's almost like he has to do the opposite of like. He needs to start doing all back movements, like pulling super high, like everyone should.
Or just get freaking shredded.
Yeah.
It's like why?
Even then, it's like a structure it's.
Yeah, but you would
missing something.
Imagine if you remove another 10 pounds of fat plus a 10 pound of water on this guy. Like you would have went up maybe you would have maybe beat Justin. Yeah, who knows? Like from the side, he's really big, and his back is good, but it's like, there's folds on his butt a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit of folds and the lower lats. Like those folds, personally, I was so paranoid when I was prepping. I would be freaking out if I had that on stage. I'd be like, get me out of here.
The fourth place guy, Haywood, is that his name? Dorian Haywood?
Yes.
He was in better condition than Mustafa was, or Muhammad, whatever his name is.
Yeah. His butt is shredded.
Obviously, he doesn't look as pleasing, right? Because he's kind of got like an odd physique, but he's like dense muscle, man. Like he got a lot of muscle on that frame.
Yeah, I like his glutes. He has good glutes.
Yeah.
No.
The Morgan Anstey dude was in condition too, even though he's just a big monster.
Yeah. Said fifth place was. Who was fifth place? I don't know. Is there a scorecard somewhere? Probably. Man. So I think was Blessing fifth or sixth?
Blessing was sixth.
So who was fifth? Who was fifth? I don't know.
Not sure.
Shit. We're doing a great job at reviewing the New York Pro. But you know what? Fifth place, you're pretty much last place.
We're talking about like outside the top three. What are we talking about?
Yeah, true. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that you can't win the next show, because I was seventh at the New York Pro last year, and then redemption.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So it is possible.
Like you said, like if Mustafa like ups his conditioning and gets shredded in the next fucking. There's a show tomorrow, right, here in California.
Yes.
Cali Pro.
Yeah. That's the one. That's the one I won. Yeah. I don't know if he was doing. He did go against me last year, but he had like this problem. He went to the hospital, and he looked in so much pain, and I saw him puke beside me in the garbage. He was puking. Like, I was like, oh shit. Then he was like, and his wife was there with the baby. Was like, oh my god, poor guy.
Go to the hospital, man.
He did go. He did go to the hospital. Then he got a ride from the hospital to the prejudging.
Oh.
Yeah, he tried though.
Props to him though for fucking toughing it out.
Yeah, but I don't know if I would. Like, if I was that in pain and I would like be out of shape, I would ask the banyas like, hey, I got the doctor's notice. Is it okay if I just rest for now and do another one? Because when you sign contracts, you got to do them. It says in the contract.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there's ways around.
Who's he under contract with?
No,
you just mean the show contract?
The show contract, yeah.
But I think there's extenuating circumstances. Like, buddy, if you're on your deathbed, it's like...
Yeah.
I didn't finish the Toronto Pro when I did it that year, because I ended up in the fucking hospital because of food poisoning and getting super dehydrated. I did not give a fuck what they thought of it.
What is that story? Let's end with that story.
Well, I did the Toronto Pro in 2011, and I... the night before, or the prejudging was on a Friday, I guess, or whatever, and then so Thursday night I was like doing like a little load, and I had a burger from, I forget where it was, to be honest with you. It was like probably around the hotel, like it was from a restaurant or whatever, and I remember I was eating it, and it was like, I didn't know, because like, you haven't had like junk food or like normal food in a while, so like I was eating the burger and I'm like, this tastes like rubbery as fuck. Like, is this just a weird patty, or like am I just not used to eating this, because I hadn't had a burger in forever? So I just kept eating it, and I was like, oh, whatever. So I finished like half of it, and I was like, okay, no, I can't eat any more of that. Like, I'm just not gonna eat that. So I literally, like, and that was before I went to bed, so like I woke up in the middle of the night and the room was like spinning.
What?
Like literally like I was on a fucking merry-go-round. Like the whole room was just like shifting and spinning. And I ran to the bathroom and I just fucking threw up like probably 7 times. What? And then I like stood up from throwing up, and I looked in the mirror, and I was the most shredded I had ever been. Like I was like, oh my god, I had like veins in my abs. Like,
really?
My eyes were like all bloodshot, and I had like snot coming out.
Oh my
god!
God,
I look great. I called Darren, shit. My friend who used to train me, and I was like, I'm like, you got to come down here. I'm like, I told him what happened. I'm like, but I looked fucking great. Like, he comes in, he's like, you do look better. He's like, pose. So
pose with snot and like bloodshot eyes.
He's like, start eating. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, there's not a fucking chance. Like, the thought of food would make me want to throw up.
Wow.
I was like, and when I tried to eat something, I was like, it was like chewing cement. Like I'd like swallow one bite, and I was like, oh. Like,
so was it like a bug? You caught a bug in the stomach?
I don't know. It was like, must have been something in the food. Like, but the thing is, I had taken diuretics. prior to that meal.
Oh.
And diuretics that are very unforgiving diuretics that just keep working.
Oh, the late.
So I was like,
was it the back then? It was Lasix that was popular.
Yeah, and I was like, oh fuck. So I just got rid of all liquid I had in my body.
Oh.
And all food I had in my body that I could pull nutrients from. So I remember I was just like, the rest of the weekend I was fucked. Like I barely made it to prejudging. I should have just like been downing salt and doing whatever, but I was a fucking idiot back then. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was laying on the floor of, I did the prejudging and I made second call out, and I was like, and I felt better because like my adrenaline was going or whatever. But then I was like, okay, so I was trying to drink like Carbolin and things like that I could actually keep down. And then by the time I got back to my room that night, I was just a fucking mess again. It was just like I couldn't eat.
Was it a 2-day show?
Yeah.
That's annoying.
And then I was getting this shit where I was like, my heart would start like palpitating.
Oh, arrhythmia. Like, is it arrhythmia? It's called.
No, I don't know, but I was just walking. I'd be walking there, like, I'm like, oh. I'm like,
skip a beat.
My girlfriend at the time was like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think so."
I got a triple heartbeat there.
I'd have to like stop and like lean against the wall. I'm like, this isn't good. I'm like thinking to myself, like, I gotta do something here.
Yeah.
But I couldn't eat. Like I could not eat, man. Like it was like the most difficult thing in the world to swallow a bite of food. Like my stomach was just fucked, and so like that was like my downfall. And by the time like Saturday rolled around, I was like, I got my tan, and I was just laying on the floor of the convention center in Toronto, like like a snow angel. I just laid there.
A pro time angel.
One of the judges came up to me. You remember John Natashak or Hadashak that was with Animal? He had bald head, and he's an IFBB pro judge. I forget his last name. I apologize for that.
I think I remember him a little bit. Yeah.
He walked by me, and he's like, "What the fuck's going on?" And I'm like, "Oh," I told him. He's like, "Just get some fucking salt and just eat it." And I was like, at that time, I was like, "What? Salt?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, "I'll just tough it out." And he's like, "No, just get a fucking whole fucking shit ton of salt and eat it and drink some water." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "No." And so the next thing I know, the fucking Metro Toronto Convention security people are like worried about me because I'm just laying on the floor, like over in the corner. But they're like, "There's everything all right."
Are you passed out or sleeping or?
Yeah, I just kept going in and out. Like,
holy shit, that's not good.
And then, so one of my friends like told them what happened. So like, we're calling an ambulance. And I'm like, and so the ambulance people come in. And I didn't even know they got called. And they're like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, what? And they're like, you should come with us. I think you're dehydrated or da da da. And I'm like, they brought the stretcher, and I'm like, put that fucking stretcher back in the goddamn thing. I'm like, I'll walk out of here. I'm not going without a stretcher. There's like all the people from the show, and like,
I know.
I'm like, so I just like walked my ass out there, and as soon as I got in the fucking ambulance, like, I don't know, I was fucked. They gave me like lorazepam and all this shit, and I told them what I took, and they're like, "Oh my god." They put like 4 bags of fluid in me at St. Mike's. And then I just went home.
Do you think they saved your life, these people?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think.
You think you would have toughed it out? You think the way you were going?
Yeah, I mean, I think I could have. I knew I couldn't. I didn't have the energy to go on stage. But if someone had told me like, okay, let's just like start eating a bunch of food and fucking drinking and force yourself, like I could have come out of it. But like, I was fucking like super dehydrated. Like they checked my shit and they're like, your like sodium and potassium levels are like completely decimated. Like we're impressed that you can even stand up right now.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, sorry. Yeah. That's why when I talk to people on here, like I tell them like, you know, with all the great people you have nowadays that you can get knowledge from, like Dorian and other people we've talked about on the podcast, like smart, intelligent coaches, like there's plenty of them out there. It's like I didn't have that. Like I just had me and like my people around me who were like bro science and then doing what this guy did, that guy did. It's like
trying shit.
So I say when if I could go back in time and have the ability to talk to people like that, I feel like could have been a lot better version of me than I was, right? Because I just was lost. Like it makes perfect sense to me now that I should have just literally eaten like a handful of sodium, like salt, and just chugged some water. I probably would have snapped right back.
Yeah.
Like literally. But then back then I was like, no, sodium's my enemy. I don't.
So kids, don't take Lasix. Don't eat shady and sketchy burgers from some place that are rubbery. And eat some freaking salt.
Yeah.
Eat some
Keep
salt.
your salt up.
And we're going to end the podcast, episode number 6, that I co-hosted with Big Mike Van Wyck. And be ready for another one coming next week. They're back weekly now. All right, so in the comments, ask some questions. Tell us which guest you want to be, you want to see on the show, and we'll make it happen. Thank you very much. Subscribe. Goodbye.